Welcome to the Lewis and Rozh Hockey Podcast. I'm Lewis.
I'm Roche.
Way episode 3. I can't believe we made it this far.
You know what? We're becoming a real podcast now. The
S-
business calls are going to come any day.
I hope so. I checked the email account earlier to see if we had any business requests. I can tell you what we got.
What do you get?
Hey, let me just load it up. This is incredibly
I
unprofessional.
mean, we got something.
So we got from the Google account. Lewis, review your Google settings. So great bit of business off the top there. I'll be sure to email them back and ask Google for a sponsorship because I'm sure they'll be very willing to do that.
I mean, an email from you, a big company. They must love us.
Yeah. We clearly made an impression on the YouTube employees.
You know, we've already made one trend on YouTube. Now we've got a
We
sponsorship.
have. Shout out to Pinholes Graham for I don't know if he watched the entire thing. I hope he did. What a great guy.
He acknowledged our existence. That's all we needed.
That's all we needed. Maybe we should have him on one day. Special guest.
Maybe. Yeah, we can embarrass ourselves in front of someone who knows actual hockey knowledge.
Have you seen any of his videos?
I didn't get a chance to because I've been busy.
Dude, they're so
working.
good. The production quality on it is impeccable. I don't know how he does it. I need to have him on as a guest. Episode 5. I'll email him. Every 5 episodes we'll have a big special guest on.
Yeah, no, I'll have a look then, because Gus has got me watching a lot more hockey YouTube now, like Eck and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it used to just be like the hockey guy in the Steve Angle podcast, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then as time's gone on, I've become more busy, and I don't have time for Shannon and fucking sports interaction ads every 10 seconds. Allegedly.
Oh, talking of covering ourselves from legal problems, I think in order to have this image of the Stanley Cup on our podcast, we have to criticize it so it becomes under Creative Commons. So I'd just like to say it's a tad pixelated for my liking.
You know the bowl? It's like a centimeter too big, I think. You know,
On the image, no, not the actual Stanley Cup. The image. We need to criticize the image.
It's too. I can't see it, but it's too big. It's too big.
Okay, thank you. Cool. I think you're the law student. You should be able to tell us whether or not this covers us from legal trouble.
I'm doing sports all next year, Lewis. I can't tell you. And yes, I'm gonna bring all my kit so he likes me.
Right, let's get on to some actual topics for today. The first one, let's start with the important ones. The New Jersey Devils got eliminated from Stanley Cup contention last night from the second round by the Carolina Hurricanes in 5 games.
Yeah, well, when I checked it last night, it was 2-0, and then I wake up today and they're out.
They let in some bad goals.
Oh boy, who was in that today?
It was Schmid.
It's always Schmid.
And the overtime goal that they let in, oof. I mean, amazing tip from Jesper Fast, but there should have been someone there to push him out of the way, and there was not.
See, as a Leafs fan, we should know about that.
And you could argue that they were on the power play, so it didn't really matter. But at the same time, you can't have someone that open in front of the net.
In any case, like you gotta defend the goalie there. You can't just let him. You can't let someone stand in the goalie's house. It's like if I went into a church and I screamed about the devil and no one did anything, you know?
Exactly. It's like if the priest just looked at you.
You know, as a big JVR enjoyer, you know, as a big Chris Kreider watcher, you can't let those type of players get in the way because it's just going to be tip-ins galore.
It was a really, really nice tip-in, I have to say. But yeah, you can't let that go in. Especially in overtime.
You know, it's a lesson the Leafs could learn.
It is. It's a shame they went out in 5. I would have liked that series to go a bit longer. Did it go in 5 or was it in 6?
It was in 5, I believe. But yeah, no, it was 5. I don't know.
That means the Devils that one game, sorry, not the Devils. The Islanders put up a more of a fight against Carolina than the Devils did.
Well, other than like last game, in which they blew a 2-0 lead, and that one which they won, they got embarrassed every night.
Yeah, it wasn't good, and you have to blame goaltending for some of that as well, because Vanacek and
Oh, yeah.
Schmid, as good as Schmid was throughout the entire playoffs, bit I don't know. He showed some really good moxie, you could say.
Yeah, well, he took the position and he tried his best. It's not like we can fault him there, because the team did fail him as well. We have to remember
Yeah.
that.
Talking of the team failing him, Jesus Christ, Timo Meyer.
Yeah, it's not great.
Did you see the goal he missed last night?
No, because again, I had an exam this morning.
Fair enough. So in the third period, he had a wide open net. I think it was
Yeah.
Anderson in there. He was out of the net. He was on his stomach. There's no way he could have saved it. Timo Meyer, literally the entire net, and he passed it through the crease by accident.
No way.
He didn't
No way.
pass. He shot it through the crease because he missed the net.
I don't know if you remember this. There was a play a couple of years ago. It's on Weird NHL, so you might have seen it.
Okay.
I think it's Shifley. He's on a breakaway against Colorado, and he just drop passes it or something.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
he does like a half
Yeah.
spinorama, passes it back.
Oh man, like the Devils could have won that game if Meyer didn't like miss that, and he cost the Devils so much,
Oh,
so much.
I'm signing. I'm signing fast. Like
Is it a
at that
UFA?
point, he's an RFA or something, right? But isn't he up?
Let's. Oh, you know what? Let's bring out the transition. Da, 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 da.
I think they've only got enough money to sign one of them, right? Because that's what you said before, or maybe I'm just
That
high
was
as
on
hell.
Jersey. They only have enough money to. So they, if we look at Jersey's cap situation, they have to re-sign Jesper Bratt, Thomas Tatar, Miles Wood, Timo Meyer, Eric Howler, Igor Sharangovich, not Michael McLeod. Yeah, Michael McLeod, Jesper Boakfist, Nathan Bastian, David Severson, Ryan Graves, Mackenzie
That
Blackwood,
is that's a lot of people.
Kevin Bowl.
I mean, if it's any good news, Blackwood's taking a pay decrease.
Well, I don't think he's in with the team next season because they got Schmid.
Well, he's an RFA, so they got to do something.
Trade him. Vanacek Schmid is too good of a goalie tandem.
True. People were wondering if they were going to put in Blackwood, because both Schmid and Vanacek had been pulled.
That's a tough one. I guess maybe if you're running out of options, but they don't think Vanacek or Schmid were so horrendously bad that it was worth putting in Blackwood,
And also, it's such a big risk, see? Like, if you
Yeah.
then pull Blackwood, oh boy, who you putting in after that?
Ebog.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
the Canes next season have Jordan Stall up.
yeah.
Jesse Puljujärvi. It's
Mhm.
pronounced like that. Jesper Fast.
Wait, hold up. It's not pronounced pool party?
No, it's not. I don't have a
Yeah.
good Finnish accent or speak Finnish. So I'm not
You
exactly
just
sure.
gotta say it really monotone and look it.
Puljujärvi. There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry for any
gotta make
Finns
it like-
listening.
You gotta make it dance, Lewis. It's gotta dance on your tongue.
So they've got Jordan Stall, Paul Yave, Fast, Paul Stastny, Mackenzie McKirkin, and Derek Stepan. On forwards, you've got Shane Gostisbehere, Calvin DeHaan, Dylan Coughlin, and
Oh yeah.
Maxime Lajoie
I
on
just realized,
defense.
Lewis, I'm such an idiot. By Jesper Fast, I meant Jesper Bratt. That's what I meant.
I mean, they're both up, so you know.
Yeah, and they're both called Jesper. So,
Yeah.
but no, I'm signing Bratt. I know it's awful asset management, but bye Maya.
Well, people were. I saw a lot of Devils fans on Twitter complaining about Brad's lack of playoff production because he only scored 6 points in 11 games. Only one goal.
Okay, but then you're picking the best of a bad apple then, because look at Maya's production.
Brat or Meyer, that's a tough,
Well, let me
decision
think.
to make if you're basically just off the playoffs because Meyer was god awful. Even
I'm
before
saying,
the Trouba hit, he was god awful.
I'm saying Bratt's been a devil for ever. He was drafted by them.
Yeah,
I'd keep the homegrown talent.
he's younger as well.
Even if that is awful asset management, I'd keep him.
The risk is that you'd pay Brat more, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at, I think if you look at regular season performance too, I could be wrong, but I think Brough had a better year.
Yeah, but you got to remember that they were on a contending team and Maya was on the Sharks.
True.
The Sharks.
I
So the fact he managed to
remember,
score 40
yeah,
goals on the Sharks is pretty incredible.
40 goals on the Sharks. Then Carlton put up 100 points on the Sharks
Yeah.
too. So, but then you look at Maya stats when he's on the Devils, 14 points in 21 games. That's his contending team. Uh, so I mean, maybe you see that as a large enough sample size, maybe, and you're like, you're shit, goodbye.
I don't think Maya really found his feet in Jersey this season. I'd like to see what he could do over a full season there before they make a decision. But I'm not sure he wants that because he's an RFA. He can get a chance at 8 year, 7 year deal.
He wants the bag, bro.
Go and
He
get the
wants the
bag,
bag.
man. I mean, I don't blame
Yeah.
him.
I mean, he's 26 now. Like, he has to get the bag. If he doesn't get the bag, he's gonna be in trouble.
Well, maybe it depends if his production drops off next season.
Well, no one wants to be the next Kevin LeBlanc. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Do you want to share your Eric Howler story?
Oh yeah. So when he was in Vegas, I've stolen this completely from Twitter. I have no idea who
Okay.
put this out. But when he was in Vegas, he was such a big-headed guy. They'd all call him Hall of Famer. That's funny, right?
You know, Eric Howler became the first player in Stanley Cup playoff history to be eliminated by the same opponent in 3 consecutive postseasons while playing for 3 different teams.
That's actually hilarious.
He played for Nashville, got eliminated. Played for Boston, got eliminated, and now for Jersey, got eliminated. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Do you know why he's hated in Carolina?
Why is he hated in Carolina? Didn't he play
Uh,
for
um,
Carolina?
he did. He did play for Carolina. He played. He played like 9 games for them. Um, and apparently they traded him away because he didn't get along with them, like any of his teammates, like at all.
I mean, the Howler for Zaka trade is possibly one of the best moves Cam Neely made this last off
Yeah,
season.
dude, Zucker is so much better.
I think that's probably a win-win trade.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a win-win trade. Hall is doing great in Boston. Sorry, Zach is doing great in Boston. Holo did great in New Jersey. Who knows where he goes now? But
I think
I
he
don't know.
stays in Jersey.
Yeah,
Sign him
he's
cheap.
he's been a bit of a journeyman. Maybe he wants a new home.
A new home in New Jersey. Way.
I don't know. He seems pretty big-headed. I think he's gonna demand a move to New York. New York.
The fucking not Kane, Canes. Um, Rangers can't afford Howler. They have to re-sign Tarasenko.
Yeah, tell that to Hola, not me. I don't. Do you want to Tarasenko? I mean, isn't Tarasenko like a robot now though, because of all the injuries?
um, I'm not sure. I do know that Kane strongly indicated that he wasn't going to re-sign with the Rangers, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, wasn't that like one of the only teams he wanted to go to?
It was that or the Leafs, and the Leafs said no.
Thank God for that.
Mm,
But okay, well, Kane's being a little pissy then, unless he wants to
yeah.
come to the Leafs for a cheap deal.
Uh, no. Locker room cancer, allegedly. Patrick Kane.
Oh, alleged rapist. Not alleged rapist. He did it. We know he did it.
No, it wasn't. You have to say allegedly after that, I think.
Alleged.
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 um,
Okay.
next topic is the Leafs game. They stave off elimination in Game 4, win 2-1 over the Panthers to go to Game 5 in Scotiabank Arena 2 nights. Da, da, da.
Oh,
They're
it's
gonna
all
lose.
the Lewis. No, well, they showed something, I guess. Game 4, we got Mitchie produced goal and assist.
Yeah,
Something. I'll say that bit at the end with Matthew Kachuk. He's just taking it and giving us a little smile.
that's kind of funny.
It's funny, and it's what I need to see more of it to be convinced because I've seen flashes of this from the Leafs at times where they'll do something like this, and like with Martin and Kachuk in Calgary, if you remember that,
Yeah,
Kachuk lost his head, um, and you see flashes of it here and there, and you're like, holy shit, they've gone and fucking become this team now that we've all wanted, um, and then the next game they just disappear again. So
it needs to be like consistent shithousery.
that's the thing. I'm worried that they're gonna be like, oh, we showed up for game 4. Now we can take. Now we only need to win what 2 more. We can take off. They're a lazy team. They're gonna take their foot off the gas at some point, and then they're gonna lose.
They are 4-0 in elimination games where they're the only team that can be eliminated. So the stats are in their favour for pushing it to 7. But
I don't know. I don't really like looking at stats like that.
I don't
'Cause,
have a lot of faith, Roche. I will be honest.
I mean, I gotta believe it in 7 because I'm gonna go crazy if not. But yeah.
I'm in a constant state of desolation, just waiting for the pain to end.
You're a Dallas Stars fan,
I am
man.
a Dallas Star, and I won last night. Woo! Didn't even
Will they
watch
win
that
the
game.
series?
They're up 3-2. I think they close out in 7. I think it goes 7.
Okay, you crazy if you think I'm watching any of those West Coast games to like see. Um, yeah, it's a
the,
shame.
the more the Dallas Stars play, the more I'm convinced that they have the ability to win this year.
I mean, both teams are the any team in the West could win. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Vegas and Edmonton. Right,
That series is bananas.
like Edmonton fucking won 4-1 last night with like barely any power plays.
Yeah.
So fucking so much for their shit defense, I guess. Um,
Did you see Nurse and Petrangelo got suspended?
that oh, we can get into that because that is a fucking farce right there. That's an
The
embarrassment. George Paros should be
We've been
fired or retired.
saying this for episodes now that George Paris is a bum who should be fired, but it makes it worse that they only got suspended for the same amount, and Nurse only got suspended because it was an automatic suspension.
You know what, too? They fucking. I bet in their fucking cushy exec offices, they're up there thinking, "Oh, we suspended them both for 1 game. That's fair." It's bullshit.
It is like that was
That was
such
intense. That was intent to injure. Petrangelo wanted to fucking like snap his arms with that
take his
swing.
hands off.
Literally, like
It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't
I'm
fair.
just
It wasn't a
saying.
great. It wasn't. It was a horrible play by Petrangelo, and it was a completely unjust suspension for him. He should have got way more. And then the fact that Nurse only got an automatic suspension because I think it wasn't
Instigating,
instigated.
wasn't it?
Instigated
Yeah.
within the last 5 minutes of play. Jay Woodcroft got fined 10 grand as well for that.
Yeah, that's so poor. I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Like I think the entire league doesn't at this point, which like is saying something. When
Just
you're in
spin the wheel.
like when that's the fucking thing of your department, you gotta resign. Like a good department of player safety, be quite clear like what interaction is gonna get you how many, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but this is just a joke. I don't know how Batman. Well,
What a
I know how Batman
dreadful
goes down
league.
there.
This
We
league
are a clown
sucks.
league, eh?
This league sucks.
Awful marketing, shitty owners, an ungodly love of the fucking desert. Um,
I mean, that's kind of reasonable.
refs that actively try to even out penalties instead of
That's
calling it as it
such a
is.
joke.
Because I'm telling you now, like if they just called it as it was, don't get me wrong, for like maybe the first bit of the season, you'd have a bajillion penalties, right? But then players would learn and be actually decent. It's like in football, they're starting to slowly introduce like embellishment penalties, and players are learning here and there.
No way, they're introducing embellishment into football. And for our
At least
American
in
listeners, soccer.
soccer, at least in
Soccer.
the Bundesliga, I saw a clip the other day, which an NHL ref would never do. But this guy gets tackled in the box, right, and he
Yeah.
goes down. and the guy who goes down gets a yellow because the ref thinks he's embellishing. The ref then reviews the play, gives it a penalty, takes away the yellow card. Actually shows some humility, which is insane, right?
No way, the ability to actually reverse calls and be wrong.
And
Gasp.
get this. Same player in the box gets taken down again. The ref gives him the same yellow card for embellishment, reviews it, gives him a penalty, takes it away.
It's almost as if refs can be wrong.
What?
No way. They're not the third team in any sport.
They're supposed to be impartial and call it as it is.
No,
Crazy.
I'm fed up with this conversation. We've had it for 3 episodes in a row now.
Yeah.
They need to fire George Powers. They're not going to until fucking Bettman dies, allegedly.
Ours guys, it's a boys' club like Philly.
Oh god, did you see the statement that Philadelphia released?
What, they're changing their orange to a slightly darker
No,
orange?
no, it was worse than that. Hang on, let me look it up on.
Yeah, so
Do
summarize,
some Phil,
we
do some
hate them
filling.
as well. Sorry?
Fill the time.
Oh, okay. Well, Florida have decided to keep Dan Briere, noted father of wheelchair pusher
You mean
Briere Jr.
Philadelphia, not Florida?
Did I say Florida?
Yeah.
Well, I meant Philadelphia. Philadelphia, Florida, they're on the same coast.
Okay, so this is the statement that the Philadelphia Flyers organization released yesterday. I believe it was. Was it
Let's
yesterday?
hear it, baby.
What day is it today? Yesterday,
It's
yeah.
Friday.
The Philadelphia Flyers organization was built on relentless ambition and loyalty to this city. When you're playing for Philadelphia, you're playing to win and you're giving it your all. I would like to, first of all, present Exhibit A, Rasmus Ristolainen.
I was just look at the regular season record.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, because when you represent this city, nothing less is acceptable. Exhibit A, Rasmus Ristolainen. That extends beyond the ice too. Okay, that's fair enough. JVR, and I think it's Scott Lawton. They've done a lot of stuff for the community.
Yeah, but on the ice, I mean, don't get me wrong, JBL's a bit crusty old guy now, but like still, the Flyers just have not been good enough.
It's about
Maybe.
character, sacrifice, integrity, and most importantly, resilience in every single thing we do. How many times do I have to reference Rasmus Ristolainen in this statement? That guy
Oh, but
sucks.
Lewis, it's only one player. It's only
Oh
one
my
player.
god, he's paid $5.5 million. I
Oh
remember
man.
one of the funniest moments from last season was there were rumors going around that Ristolainen was going to re-sign in Philadelphia, and everyone was going, okay, he's not. This was last year as well. Okay, he can be like an okay piece sometimes. I think he's been in the league for a while. He's made his money. You can't give him $5 million again. I say I remember someone saying, I reckon they re-sign him like high 1 million, 2 million, that sort, like 1.8, that sort of thing. And the deal came through, and it was 5.1, and everyone lost their shit because Chuck Fletcher's a fucking dumbass and re-signed Rasmus Ristolainen to a 5.1 by 5 contract. What a joke!
Yeah, and I think that expires when he's 33.
Like, oh my god. I remember looking at his stats in December, and this was like mid-December, and he hadn't scored a goal that season. He hadn't even scored a single point. That's your first pair defenseman.
Yeah, isn't he known for being an offensive defenseman?
Yes,
Am I wrong
yes, he
yeah.
sucks, and that was on
Mm,
Buffalo, and he
So,
sucks.
dude, this guy got 45 points on a shit Buffalo team. Oh, yikes! Only a -4. Only a -4. What can I say?
What
That
a
means he's good defensively, right?
oh my god, no. Right, next part of the statement. When you don the orange and black, you're held to a specific set of standards, and you're expected to show up and work your ass off every single day. It's about doing things the right way, no excuses, no shortcuts. This statement's a fucking joke. This is a new era of hockey, and we're building a new foundation for the future. New ways to work, new ways to train, and new ways to win. We have new voices, new perspectives, and new plans, but this is still Flyers hockey, so the goal remains the same: win. Welcome to a new era of orange.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, the Flyers have decided to keep Daniel Briere. Who's the dad of the Briere who threw that poor girl's wheelchair down the stairs.
To be fair,
Um,
and I have to be fair, not to his son because his son's a fucking arsehole, but
yeah.
Danny Briere handled the situation very, very well from what I saw, and I can't fault him for what he did regarding it.
True, but what I'm saying is it's a boys' club. It's a boys' club,
But
man.
I also know as well that Danny Briere isn't someone that's just come in because he was a previous Flyer. He has done lots of work previously in management, like
That's
after being
fair.
a player. So this is I know a lot of people. I remember seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, but like you just said, boys' club." But I think from what I've heard in the sphere, he isn't just an uneducated hockey player who got the job because he previously played for the Flyers. He actually has some experience there. But we'll see when it comes to the draft. Who knows if he trades
Okay,
the
well,
seventh overall pick to I don't know Buffalo for Rasmus Ristolainen again.
okay, well, let me ask you about the myth, the legend, Keith Jones being put in as director of
I
hockey
have no
ops.
idea who he is. Not a
He's a,
clue.
so from '98 to 2001, so the tail end of his career, he played for the Flyers, right?
Yeah.
And then he was just a broadcasting guy on TNT. Oh, and NBC before then.
Does he have any management experience?
As far as I can tell, no.
Well then, that's gonna be good.
um, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think they're getting new ideas in.
I just want to bring up real quick the Flyers cap friendly page, just so I can laugh. You got Kevin Hayes signed for another 4 years.
Don't you mean the guy who looks like the Penguin? I'm sorry, that's really mean, but he does.
JVR, who's up this year. God,
Should
these
have
contracts
traded
are
him.
terrible. This is
Criminal,
worse than
criminal,
Pittsburgh.
criminal. Should have traded him at the deadline.
Travis Konechny signed for another 2 years.
It's a good deal, though.
Joel Farabee's been extended to I don't even know when. Another
He's
six
not here.
years.
I can't. I think there's more. There's an
Oh,
arrow
he's
there.
only 23. Wow.
He's, he's a UFA. Sorry, he's a UFA in 6 years, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. I don't mind the Joel Farabee deal. Scott Lawton's got another 3 years.
I mean, for free though,
Nick
it's not bad.
Delorier,
He's a no one. He's a,
he's signed to 1.75.
How does he have a modified no trade? How did he
Chuck
get that?
Fletcher. Chuck Fletcher.
How did he get that? I
Owen
just
Owen Tippett's signed for another year. I don't mind that. That's the piece they got back in the Philadelphia. Not Philadelphia. I said fuck. The Claude Giroux trade to Florida last year.
oh, I see.
Brendan
Brendan Lemieux's
Lemieux.
a bum,
LOL. Kiefer
absolute bum.
Bellows. LOL. Noah Cates. I don't mind Noah Cates. He's okay. Morgan Frost being okay as well. And then I don't even know who the fuck these guys are.
Those
Um,
prospects.
and then Ivan Provorov, the homophobe himself, and we don't have to say allegedly about
Oh shit.
that. Rasmus Ristolainen. um, what a god awful signing. Can I see how it's broken down as well?
If you click on him, you might be able to.
Jesus
Yeah, it's
Christ.
pretty crazy. He's in shock and he can't talk.
There are no words. Do you know the trade for him?
For Ristolainen,
Yeah.
not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. So the Flyers only got Ristolainen in this trade.
Okay.
They traded Robert Hagg.
A player who I don't remember at all, but probably because he's in Buffalo.
He's not in Buffalo anymore. I think he's on the Red Wings. Yeah, he is on the Red Wings.
Good knowledge.
You know, depth piece, depth defenseman.
Yeah.
A first round pick, 14th overall.
Oh,
A second round pick this year. Bear in
That
mind that the
over.
first round pick is Isaac Rosen, who you may not know, but has been tearing it up. Great,
Let's have a-
great pick by Kevin Adams.
Damn. He is he. What position does he play? Sorry.
He's Isaac Rosen's right wing, but he's like 19, I think. So
Oh my god. And about 40 points in 60 games in the A too.
yeah, he's a really, really good prospect for him. We don't talk
He's younger
enough.
than me. He's younger than me.
We don't talk enough about how Kevin Adams managed to convince the is it the Pagulas who own the
Yeah.
Sabres to
Yeah.
convince them to let him do his job and then just completely turn the Sabres around.
Well, I don't know why it's the Peculiars. Well, it started off with the football team because the Peculiars were just like go off for the football team, and then they started doing well. So, maybe they've learned a lesson in not fucking, you know, putting their hands in everything.
The Sabres are
Something the
one of my
actually.
favourite teams to watch.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be so
They're
fun when
going to
they
be
make the playoffs.
so good. So good. I think they could have made it this year if Pittsburgh wasn't so stingy.
Oh, well, I
Um,
mean, it'll be good, and it's something that the Aquilinis could learn from.
oh god, no! I'm going to dedicate a whole episode to Francesco Aquilini and the shit show that is the Vancouver Canucks. Did you see the
And
video that they released the other day?
what about how pro player, special player, star defenseman Tyler Myers? He's going to
Oh god, no! I completely forgot about that. But that's worse. I'll read the quote out for uh our
for
viewers at home.
yeah.
From Patrick Alvine, as much as I'd like to say we got Connor Bedard today, I'm pleased to say we still have a star player in Tyler Myers playing at the Worlds this summer. Real quote. Real quote.
It's important to note that the pair of Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Tyler Myers is one of the
Worst.
worst.
And I
I
think it
think.
is actually the worst in the league.
Yeah. Which is kind of mad because when you're like fucking
Because Arizona
6'7",
exists.
yeah, but when you're 6'7" and you have a stick that long, like I don't know how he does it, but he still fails to reach the puck on a poke check or
It's a skill.
anything.
It's a skill.
It's a skill. Never lays the body, which like, you got to be playing like Shara at that point. Like if you can't produce offensively,
You are the
like
same height as Tage Thompson.
Oh, Tate, I didn't know Tate was that tall.
I think you might actually be taller.
Yeah, no, Myers is really tall. I mean, he might not be 6'7", he might be taller than that.
You know
All
what's
I know is
insane about Buffalo as well? Sorry to interrupt.
go on.
They
No,
have the lowest cap hit in the league.
Wow, that's gonna oh, Myers is 6'8", sorry. That's
Thompson's
a good team.
6'6".
That's a good team. What can I say? I think it's also a bit of a harrowing tale for Chicago too, because it shows you kind of sell the farm and go from there. You have to have
Yeah.
some pieces.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I want to dedicate a whole episode to Vancouver, and I want Frankie to sit in on it as well, just to
he's gonna be.
listen and be sad.
I think he's gonna be like, wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
He's gonna like Brandon Suter, who? Which is a shame. I miss Brandon Suter. He was too good.
He was on the Canucks.
No, the injuries took him away. Yeah, he'd be like Quinn Hughes. What? Brock Besser hasn't been traded.
No way! That's insane.
He's
They
gonna be.
they traded away the first round pick that they got for Bo Horvat.
Wait, what? Already?
You didn't know that?
Dude, I don't look at Vancouver trades anymore. They just hurt me.
So, oh god, I really don't want to spend too much on Vancouver because I want to
We'll
spend a
just
whole
do this.
episode on
We'll
it.
do this real quick. We'll do this real quick.
So they got in the. Let me open up the trade history chart. Okay, so they traded Bo Horvat, 1.375 retained to
Yeah.
the Islanders for Anthony Beauvillier, Artu Ratu, and a first round pick.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
Artu Ratu's in the AHL, really good player in the AHL.
yeah, really good. Bouvillier, I mean,
Anthony Beauvillier's been pretty good with the team. I say you resign him.
yeah.
And then
Something.
obviously you've got a first round pick.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
So
18th overall.
That was on January the 30th, 2023. A month later, just under a month later. Just under a month later. No, wait. Just under a month later, they do an AHL trade for Vitaly Kravtsov. He's been pretty good with the team. They trade Riley Stillman for Josh Bloom, which I think is a bad deal, but Riley Stillman's been pretty good with the Sabres, so okay.
You know what? I remember Riley Stillman from NHL 17-18. He was always a fringe player, and I'd always trade him for a 7.
They trade Luke Chen for a third, and then on March the 1st, I think they got it a month early, to be fair. On March 1st, a month earlier than they should have done, they traded a first and a second for Philip Hronek and a fourth, who, I might add, was injured at the time, so he didn't actually play any games for the Canucks. Sorry, I'm wrong. He played 4 games for the Canucks. They fired Jim Benning for this.
Jim Benning died for this.
Jim Benning died for this.
Yeah, I mean, if they brought back, that's not.
That's an inexcusable trade.
I mean, maybe they brought back Benning as a scout, but
bro, they need to fire Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allwine.
Don't know what's going on in Vancouver, man. I don't know.
Right.
I don't understand.
Next episode, Vancouver episode.
Vancouver episode, fair enough.
Spend an hour talking about Vancouver.
Yeah.
Talking about rebuilding plans, and the next thing on the agenda, and I talked to you about this a few weeks ago. I think it's a decent topic to bring up. The Isa plan.
Oh, you know what? When you told me about this, I was like, "This is a hot take," right? But I'm just saying, through some fault of his own and the draft lottery absolutely shafting Detroit, I think you're right. So why don't you tell the people?
I think it's time to let Yzerman go.
And
it pains me to the heart. It pains me to the heart. But I don't think the Isa plan is working. And I will once again bring up this incredibly good transition there to Cap Friendly.
I'm going to tell you why it didn't work, Lewis.
Why did it not work?
Because they let Christian Juice go.
Okay. If you look at the contracts that he signed,
okay,
and the team that he's constructed,
which I'm trying to find, but I can't do it. Oh wait, I can't. There we go. I got you.
It's just not great. And they had some really, really good prospects last season. Mo Seider winning the Calder, Lucas Raymond putting up loads of points. They had some really, really good pieces, and I think it just hasn't worked. And whether that's the fault of Yzerman or not, it's difficult to say. But at some point you got to ask, at what point do you reconsider your options? And I think it's time.
Yeah, I think the thing is the younger players just haven't been like what we've been expecting, like Zadina.
Berggren. Actually, Berggren's been okay. Lucas Raymond just did not do well this season at all. He went from having 57 points to 45 points.
Seider's been good, but
Seider has not been good.
Has he not?
He has not, and I will tell you why.
Why?
Because Gru himself keeps pairing him with Ben Sherratt.
Oh no, Stevie!
Talking of Ben Sherratt, he signed for another 4 years at just under 5. Sorry, 3 years at just under 5.
That's not a good contract.
He extended Oli Marta.
I'm biased to Oli Marta, so I can't speak.
He extended Jake Wallman, who's been okay. He's been okay. He's not worth that much.
You know who's signed for 4.7 and was awful this year for the Red Wings?
Who?
The only Ville Husso.
Oh god, and the Ville. You know he traded for Ville Husso when he was a UFA.
But he was. You know what though? At the time, Husso was looking mighty fine. Yeah, he caught my eye.
You know who else he traded for and has shit the bed? Alex Nedeljkovic.
You know, again though, if let's not do some revisionist history here. At the time, when they let Nedeljkovic go for that trade, when they did that trade, we all thought um that they'd been fleeced completely. We were like, Stevie's fucking stolen the show there.
Yeah, but no. You know the trade for that was 2/3, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, Eisman just fleeced Carolina," and he actually didn't.
I mean, can you blame at that point? Do you blame Stevie then? If you like look at how good these goalies were before, and then look at them now, you blame the goaltending staff?
I think it's a well, no, because the staff got changed because they brought in a new coach.
I mean, I don't know then.
I
I mean,
think I think his time's up. I hate to say it. I think his chance to rebuild it and like be a contending team was this year,
yeah,
and I think he's fucked it.
I think the picks just haven't worked out for him.
I don't and I think that's tough as well because he has had some good picks and they just haven't turned out. But signing Andrew Cup to a 5-year contract, David Perron for another year, like those are old guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Perron too much. He had been. I don't know how he did it, right? But like he hit 30 and he was like, I am gonna be a point per game now.
Yeah,
Um,
but
but
their depth players who are very young, they're not producing.
yeah, and that's what you need, like, because I don't mind having Cop and Perron too much because, as we've seen with Buffalo, you need these type of players
Yeah,
to be there. You need like it's like with the Leafs, you need like a JVR, a Bozak, a Komarov,
but
a
for that
Kadri.
long at that higher cap hit,
Well, I mean, if you look at it, it's like it's literally Larkin, Cop, Perron, and then
Robbie Fabry.
which okay. I mean, Pius Sousa was good though. I don't know if he is anymore, but he was.
I think that's the thing. Like a lot of the players, you go, "Oh, it's that guy. He was pretty good." And they look at his points and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah, no. I look at Pius Sousa's stats. I'm like, he's not as good as I remember. Kubalik, not as good as I remember.
And
30,
their goalies in the AHL as well. They've got Sebastian Kosa, who a couple of years ago was being heralded as this new savior,
yeah.
and he is an ECHL goalie. He's put up numbers in the ECHL,
Mhm.
but he is an ECHL goalie. In 3 games with the AHL in the AHL this season, he had a 783.
I mean, I, I think the prospects have failed him. I think
But is that down to him or down to um, just them not panning out?
it's a mixture of both, right? Because again, when like if you go back to any Reddit thread on these Detroit picks, everyone's like, "This is such a good pick! Oh my god, Detroit's prospect pool is so stacked, right?"
Yeah,
Um, so I mean, of course, Steve's the one who made the picks. So you have to blame Steve a bit for that, but
blame the scouts maybe.
blame the scouts. I mean, blame the development department for sure. Like you can't. How can you have
You
so
gotta
many
blame
prospects and it all
Derek
fail like that?
Lalonde as well. Like,
Yeah,
it's just not. It's just not worked, and I don't have a lot of faith that it will.
I'm just saying, if if Davis does go to Pittsburgh, I don't mind taking Stevie too much.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see what he could do with the contending team.
I
Um,
hope he could fucking kick him into gear at least, or like give him something, give him some accountability.
I mean, Eisman was the GM of the Lightning, and then like 2 years after he left, they won the cup. If Detroit win in like two
That was his
years,
team though. That was his team
yeah,
though. That was
it,
his Lightning team.
if Detroit win in the next 2 years, I'll take it all back. But
Yeah, same.
until then, I big question mark for me.
Yeah, it's
Talking of the Tampa Bay Lightning,
oh Oh
One of
boy.
the second thing that I
Oh
wrote down on this list
no.
was something I've been wanting
Right,
to talk about
wait, hang
for
on.
ages.
How long have we been going here? So just so the people know, that maybe they need to go grab a snack real quick.
You can set a time for. Hang on, OBS says we've been recording for 45 minutes. I'll go until 52 minutes.
Okay, okay. Because I'm just saying, man, if I let you go, it's gonna be like a 2-hour podcast here.
Listen, all that right. I will keep this short and sweet. All right. I think Julian. This is another hot take from me. Call me the Stephen A. Smith of hockey right here. I think Julian
Alright.
Brisebois is a god awful GM.
Oh,
I think he should be fired. And specifically for this trade on that I have on the screen right here, the Tanner Jeannot trade. He traded first round pick Calfoot, first round pick for 2025, second round pick, third round pick, fourth round pick, fifth round pick for one player who was healthy scratched in the playoffs because he was that much of a non-factor.
Can I tell you something too? The fucking those trades he made in the past for like a Coleman or whatever.
Coleman and Goodrow.
Yeah, yeah. Had those trades are still whack. Even though they
Yeah.
performed, still a massive overpayment.
And then last year as well, when he tried to rebuild that third line, they
Yeah.
traded for Brandon Hagel, who was, you know, not a bad pickup. He traded 2 firsts for him.
He also traded a first for Coleman and a first for Goudreau, two separate firsts.
I understand the idea of like going all in and being like the GM who has the ability to like basically be a wild card and do
No,
things
no,
that other
no. This
people
isn't.
won't.
This isn't even that though. This is just making bad trades,
Yeah, you
and
know
then
what? Fuck it. He sucks. That guy needs to be fired.
so like, don't get me wrong. The Goudreau. Right. This is. Oh my god, Lewis. They
Yep.
traded the first for Goudreau.
Yep.
Wasn't. Oh, that's a different. Is that a different? No, is that the same one?
He got traded
Yeah.
from San Jose, I think.
Yeah, they traded a third for Goudreau. They then traded him to New York for a seventh. I know he was up, but still, but like, and I know he panned out. I know you got your Cubs, but still, it's not. That's an overpayment. You could have gotten him for like a third or something.
There's the idea that it doesn't matter what happens if you win a cup, but
We're seeing what's gonna happen
we're
now.
seeing what's happening now, and also for me, those cups have huge asterisks on.
I don't think, dude, no cup has an asterisk on it.
I think that there is an asterisk.
This is the hardest cup to win in sports.
Yeah, and you can put asterisks on it. I'm putting a big one on their second one and a smaller one on their first one.
Well, are you mad about the fucking what? Because of the COVID bubble and then fucking then them doing the little cappy shenanigans and all that shit.
No, I don't care about that. I think that's really good use of the system and just using the system how it's been written. I think that they were just the only team that tried. No one wanted to be there.
No,
You heard it from the Caps, so they're the only team that made it public,
hey,
right?
everyone but Oshie, everybody but Oshie.
So like, you gotta wonder how many other teams actually wanted to be there and were actually trying, and also were at their like peak performance. Um,
Well, I'm for the sake. Look, you can say that for maybe the first round teams or maybe a couple second round teams, but when you get into the conference finals, dude, everyone's fighting because that's when like when a team gets into the conference finals, that's like we're 4 wins away from being there, right?
yeah,
No one. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like we can pretend these guys are professionals. When they need to tank, they know they need to tank and all that, right? And maybe
yeah,
they take a day off here or there. But like when you're that close, I don't think you give up, even if you're in a bubble, even if you miss your family. Because at that point, you're like, well, what's the point in giving up now if I'm so close? Like it will for nothing anyways.
yeah. I don't know.
Fair enough. I mean, you can stick your asterisks on. I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, but that's just me.
But also,
Um,
if we're for dissecting Julian Brisebois again, his
yeah.
defense quality constructed this year was shit. I mean,
How
Hedman and
dare you?
Hedman and Sergachev, amazing players, and that's it. You've got Ian Cole, Eric Chernak. Chernak's like okay, and then Zach Bogosian, Nick Perbix, Hayden Fleury, Darren Radish. Though, like half of those players
Okay.
aren't even NHL defensemen.
But
You look
that left side is stacked though. Apart from Ian Cole, apart from I mean, people like Hedman, Sergachev, Fleury.
Hedman, Sergachev, great. Fleury, not so much. And then who'd you pair on the right side? They had Perbix as a top right-hand defenseman for most of the year.
Which isn't good. You pull Perbix. I don't know what lineup they had, but I'll pull up their daily face-off. But you'd probably have the right as Perbix, Cernak, and then
Perbix, Cernak.
I think they had Ian Cole. They definitely had Ian Cole playing, which thank God for that because
I might actually mean Bogosian, Perbix. I don't even know. Like fucking.
So the last game they played Hedman, Perbix, Sergachev, Radish, Cole, Bogosian.
Jesus Christ.
So I guess you take out Ian Cole.
Well, Chernak was injured, so I'll give him that. But even then, that's
Again, it's not that right side. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
And then you look at their forwards as well. Like their top six is really, really good, and then their Michael Esimont.
I don't understand why they traded Nemesnikov.
I don't understand either. Like Esimont for Nemesnikov, that doesn't make any sense.
50% retained too. Like I don't. Nemesnikov's. I feel so bad for Nemesnikov. He just gets flipped about. He's a good player. He's a 40-point player.
I think that I honestly think that Brisebois. I think he sucks. That guy sucks.
I like most things are probably somewhere in the middle where he's probably fucked up enough trades to where now he's gonna pay for it, but it's not totally sucky. I mean, top six is pretty good. I like the fourth line. Third line is, I mean, Nick Paul is a decent player. I don't know fuck all about Ross Colton, and Isimon is awful.
Yeah.
Mestikov would have been much better. I don't mind the forward group so much.
And that's without the Tanajano.
Yeah, and that's without the defense I don't. The right side I don't like, and then the trades are god awful.
I think he inherited 2 cups and is now riding that wave.
That's the thing. He got a cup too. Like he's gonna. No Tampa fan is gonna be like fire Brisebois because they have their cups. Now it's time to suffer, right? But you had your cups for that.
Yeah.
And like they still have pieces. They still like okay, maybe it's not super salvageable because of all the trade.
They have no first round picks for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you didn't trade them all away.
They don't have a second round pick for the next 2 years, and they don't have a third round. They have 2 picks this year. Sorry, 3 picks this year in the 6th round and the 7th round.
Dude, they're really playing NHL like I do.
Oh god. At least you can win in NHL. These guys can't even get out of the first round. Ah!
Yeah, I don't know how much cap space they have next year, but
they haven't extended anyone, I don't think. So apart from Esimont.
They extended. They
all
extended
of the contract extensions for Sorelli, Sergachev, and Chernak coming.
Oh, fair enough.
They're going to be a tough situation next year. Jesus.
I don't think Cole ends up. He probably comes back for cheap or not at all.
Not at all.
That bottom 6 is like most of the bottom 6 is up there. Perry, Belmar, Ross Colton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
But
I don't think it's as bad. The trades have been awful. I don't think the team's as bad as it looks.
I can agree with that. I don't think that any of their success is the product of Brisebois.
I think he's been right. Yeah, I mean, you don't get me wrong. The return, like at the time, the return was great. In hindsight, it's like, what were you doing? You could have gotten it for much less.
Yeah.
But, like those trades did work out for Tampa. So
I remember everyone saying as well when he made the Gino trade and was like, "What the fuck?" But if it works out, no one's going to question it. And now it's not
and it
worked out.
did.
That is a
So
fireable
yeah,
offence. That's a Chuck Fletcher trade.
it is. It's just I don't understand it. It's such a and then Lalonde doesn't play in that well. That's the best bit. Like
Which trade
right,
is worse, Roche? Which trade is worse? Worse,
which trade is
the
okay?
Ristolainen trade or the Gino trade?
The Janelle trade. The rest of the line at least plays for them.
True. True.
Um,
Oh,
like
what a.
I don't know what it is. Either that's like some fundamental breakdown too between the coach and the GM, because when you overpay, because it's like with Dubas, right? When Dubas gets a new shiny toy, Keith plays with it, right?
And John Cooper's
So
a great coach. I can't
yeah,
fault that guy. That guy's really, really good.
that guy's been there for 10 years.
He's insanely good. 4 Stanley Cup finals, 2 Stanley Cups. There's not a lot to fault there.
Yeah.
And and Brisebois just fucking.
And he's great. And he's great at the mind games too. Like,
Yeah,
he was out coaching Keith there for a bit.
he's everything you want in a coach, and he does it really well. And it's just been fucked by Brisebois. And they're on a skid as well, like going into the playoffs from February. They had the
they were on a losing
29th,
streak.
29th points percentage in the league.
Not great, and it doesn't really bode well for next year. But I mean, maybe if you give these Tampa guys a bit of a rest, maybe they'll come back stronger.
We'll see. We'll see. We will see next year. In the next season,
Oh,
when
true.
I think the Leafs are done
Well, actually,
tonight
it's
as well.
this year.
This year,
This
we.
year.
I think the Leafs are done this year.
Well, you know me, I've been a Leafs fan my whole life. Thanks, Dad. You should have made me a Habs fan. My life would have been much better, you know. Whole family are a bunch of Habs fans. I don't know why you did it. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to have at least had some faith in this team for the second round. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna go into Game 5 thinking we're gonna win it because why bother watching?
Yeah.
But if we lose, it's just another year of what I'm used to, really. So
Yeah.
can't complain.
Go out with a whimper.
Yeah. And then I'll buy my Tyler Bozak jersey because none of these guys deserve their name on the jersey where I'm putting my money on.
True.
You know.
True. Apart from Luke Shen, what a player.
Apart from Luke Shen, maybe Riley, but the rest of them no. So it's gonna be Tyler Bozak.
Way.
Yeah, who until recently I think he had I think he was holding the record for most Leafs games played by an active player for a while there. So, but he's probably retired now. I was hoping he'd come back for the deadline, you know, sign a contract somewhere, but done. It's over.
It's over. It's Jova.
Yeah, just like this episode.
It is coming to an end. We've been recording for 58 minutes. I think we should call it there.
Yeah.
What should we name this episode?
No, my story did not land the way I wanted it to. So I have no idea. We could leave it to the fans. Get them to mail in their answers.
The only people that comment on our videos is you and Ainsley. And we can't call this episode allegedly for the third time in a row.
What do you mean? I never comment on our episodes. That's just another guy from Roche who loves it.
Of course not. Definitely not the guy who said, and they say lightning doesn't strike twice, but these guys really have something special here.
You know what? I didn't realize what I was saying at the time.
What should we call this episode?
Something to do with Philly or
Brisebois.
Yeah. Philly brough. I know, that's awful.
That's terrible.
You know, maybe
I'm gonna call it LOL Philadelphia.
LOL. Yeah. Or you could do LOL Philadelphia, Vancouver, Detroit, Tampa.
I'm not just gonna list a load of teams that we were shitting on this episode.
Why not? Why not? It's like with an essay, right? You gotta have your intro. You gotta say what you're gonna talk about. That's what we talked about.
You know what I'm gonna call it? Jesus Christ.
Because Jesus H Christ.
Jesus H Christ, because that's what we say whenever we look at those fucking teams.
True.
Thank you for listening to the Lewis and Rozh Hockey Podcast.
Indeed. Thank you for coming back for the third episode.
Wait.
See you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Adios.